Sunday morning, sports fans. I am Kendrick, the sports guy. It is November 3rd. Guess what? Man, this year is moving right along, but we're talking NFL Week 9. This is your Sunday preview show. I am your sports guy, Kendrick, the sports guy. Hope you all are having a good weekend. And guess what? This weekend was pretty good because we all got, guess what? An extra hour of sleep. So even though it's 10:30 now, but it would have been 11:30. But I think everybody could say that they glad they got an extra hour of sleep. I know I am. So again, I'm Kendrick the Sports Guy. We're talking NFL Week 9. One of the users I see over here on TikTok, I'm live on TikTok as well, YouTube and Facebook. And we got some fantasy football league players in the mix in the chat on TikTok. Do I start Bigsby or ETN or Bucky? See, you guys, should I put Chuba at running back 2 and Swift at flex? I may would swap them, goaded, but hey, you guys are on top of that. Again, make sure you check your rosters and all that. Make sure you ain't got no injuries because and there's a couple of healthy scratches too. By the way, we're gonna talk about that. But before we get started, you know what time it is. It's Club Kendrick. Make sure you come in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That is on YouTube as well as follow on Facebook. And make sure you comment. Let me know where you're watching from on YouTube as well as Facebook. We already got what's up, T. My good brother Terrence Stone is in the house. He's on YouTube. Good Sunday morning to you. Hope you had a good night, man. Like I said, everybody got an extra hour of sleep, so I think everybody should be refreshed. Everybody got that sprung that fell back, not sprung forward. So again, we're gonna be talking a little bit of football now. I am live on TikTok as well. We got a lot of people over here. They doing their fantasy football, trying to get their lineup set before these noon kickoffs get going. So we ready. And actually, I'm going to have a guest with me. If you're watching me on Facebook or YouTube, and he's not, why I keep calling him a guest? He's not a guest. He's matter of fact, he's probably one of the managers. He's a general manager of Club Kendrick, by the way. My good brother, Michael Coleman, the sports director at KOTV in Tyler, Texas. That is the ABC affiliate. Mike, how you doing, good brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, we getting this thing rocking and rolling. I'll just ask you, did that extra hour of sleep help you a little bit this morning?
You know what? I can't even tell the difference because I go to bed late. The only time I can tell it, I look at my phone and go, oh, that's right, daylight savings time. But no, it don't matter with me at all. It ain't.
Yeah,
now,
it is what it is.
If I was a farmer, it'd make a whole lot of difference in the world.
right. If you had, it definitely would. And you know what? I don't think we've been doing no farming. I ain't never done no farming in my life, and I don't plan on it either. No. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this thing, Mike. You guys make sure y'all come in, like, subscribe to the channel, comment, let me know you're watching. We're gonna start off with it's kind of some breaking news that kind of came out yesterday. Let's talk about Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. Well, we got some more information on why he's not in Atlanta. According to NFL's James Slater, Elliott has consistently been late to team meetings. He's already missed 3 this season, and he missed the one on Friday. Mike, your reaction to this Ezekiel Elliott information?
Well, this shows you how much times have changed. Because 10 years ago, he could have missed a meeting or two. He'd been on that plane going to Atlanta. But a whole different vibe this time around. I think because he was balking at not getting not getting carries, not starting. Right. I just think it's one of those deals where he sees the handwriting on the wall and he's like, F it. And because he can, because he's a veteran and all of that. Now he's gonna have to answer because when they have player availability later this week, and Jerry's going to talk about it on his radio show. The only way they won't talk about it is if they were to beat Atlanta today. But I think it's just another side story to the Cowboys of mutiny. They're not winning. They're not happy. Then you got the Micah Parsons podcast where they're talking about the top quarterbacks that don't include their guy.
Right.
Just the optics of all of that with this. I just think Zeke's tired. He's like, I don't care anymore. And I think he thinks, and he knew what the punishment was going to be. How do you think he's going to miss some meetings and not be punished somehow? Unless he thought, well, they're not going to let me, they're not going to leave me behind. They're not going to leave me behind in Dallas.
Yeah, I think he thought that. Yeah,
I think he probably did. And he found out, whoa. I mean, if you think about it, whoever made that decision, whether it be McCarthy or Jones, that's the most definitive decision they've made all year long.
Yeah. Yeah, and you said that he's going to have to answer to it later in the week, but Mike, let's be honest. The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday. He's definitely not trade bait. Nobody wants Zeke. Could he possibly be released this week?
Yeah. Possibly. There's no doubt. If Dalvin Cook has the game they expect from him, even if he doesn't have the game, what do you have Zeke for? I mean, you've been through 8 games.
Right.
What do you have Zeke for? You know, it was all pomp and circumstance when they decided to bring him back. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's going to be the answer either. And it turns out it's not.
Yeah, and just speaking of which, in 7 games, Mike, he's had 149 yards on the ground, 48 carries, only 2 touchdowns. So 3-point yards per rush. So he ain't giving them nothing. I mean,
he's that close sitting next to you and me on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, right. You're talking to the microphone.
Right.
Right. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. He's only 29.
I know.
He's only 29 years old. So it's not like he's not. Yeah, you're probably right. It's a little bit miles on the tires, but that's not. That's old for running backs, I guess. But I think this might be his. This could be his last go around. Yeah, this could be it.
Ain't nobody gonna have no interest in him. I mean,
okay.
It's one thing to have interest in him the first time around when he's a free agent or traded or whatever the case is, but this time around, he hasn't had an impact at all. They don't even get to the red zone. I mean, if that's his niche, they don't even get there for him to run. Now, if somebody wants to take a chance on him because they had the propensity to get to that red zone, inside the 10, maybe, but nah, it's not. I think it was a worthless move. And of course, the elephant in the room is Derrick Henry. There's nothing so glaring as not signing Derrick Henry than Zeke Elliott, who you brought back, not working out.
Yep, I agree. So let's stick with it. We're gonna talk about some of the noon games coming up. Since we're talking about the Cowboys, let's go ahead and talk about this noon kickoff. Cowboys are 3-4 at the NFC South leading Falcons, who are 5-3. Again, we just got through talking about Ezekiel Elliott won't be the guy. He won't be in Atlanta with the Cowboys, so it'll most likely be Dalvin Cook and Rico Dowdle. Mike, this is the Cowboys just need a win. I ain't even want to say no must wins. They got to get this. It ain't about that. They got to win a game. What's your thoughts on this matchup for the Cowboys and the Falcons?
Their best offensive player is the kicker.
Right.
I mean, nothing against CD, but he and Dak are not. They're not on sync. Tolbert, maybe, but they don't have no offense. They just don't have any kind of offense, man. And Rico, he just suave. He ain't gonna do nothing else but be suave.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, if you don't have the run game, you can't really have a passing game.
Right.
And CD, for as skilled as he is, we're gonna. Hey, you know what, CD? You ain't gonna beat us. Somebody else on that team is gonna have to beat us, but it ain't gonna be you. And that's if I was the Falcons, that's my game plan. Now, I heard him say on the radio this morning that Falcons really don't have a pass rush. Okay, if that's the case, then even still, if you don't have a pass rush and you're doubling CD, you got to still rely on somebody else. And Dak needs to run. I don't care what Jerry says about him being hurt and all that.
Yeah, he need to run. Yeah,
he got to run because he can run. And I mean, they just got a whole can of worms just opened up this week, man, or the past 2 weeks. When they came off the bye week and that performance they didn't have last week.
Yeah, they got a whole lot. Obviously, Michael Parsons won't be there. I did see that Trevon Diggs is scheduled to go. So at first they was thinking that he was questionable. He's going to be a go today. Probably not going to be 100% with that calf sprain or whatever it is. So I'm sure they're going to go at him. This team, I think their offense has to be their best defense today.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean find a way to run the football and control the clock.
Yep.
You know, but Dallas's offensive line has shown that they very mediocre even in run blocking. I mean, what does Mike McCarthy? What does he do? What does he try to do something different offensively? What can he do?
What can he do?
Him and Brian Schottenheimer? What can they do?
And you know, and when I was watching the Niners last week, one thing that stood out to me was the defenders were like 2 yards in the backfield. You know, it's like, well, dang, the back don't even get a chance to make a decision on what to do because he's staring at the front line like now, as soon as he gets the ball, now. So we talk about the blocking situation. It's just all the way down. And, you know, for some crazy reason, they'll turn up winning a game today. You know, all this stuff we're talking, they'll turn around and win a game today. But no, it's just if I'm Atlanta, I'm licking my chops. I'm not taking them lightly. I'm not taking them lightly. But you want to go out and beat a brand, today's the day to do it.
Yeah, and we're going to give our picks in the next couple of segments, those that's watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to TFG Sports Media. All right, Mike, let's talk about the hottest team in the NFC East. The Washington Commanders, 6-2 at the New York Giants, 2-6. I read something this morning where, according to sources, a lot of players are wanting to be traded to the Commanders. They want to go play for Dan Quinn. Who would have thought that we would hear players wanting to go to Washington? But that's according to ESPN article. Players are wanting to go there. And I can see why. Mike, what you think about this Commanders-Giants matchup?
Well, I think Dan Quinn's a good coach. And when he went over there, took a couple of Cowboys with him, I remember thinking, you know what? They're probably whispering in Micah's ear, dude, when your time is up, you need to come and play with us. And I've been saying they're going to at least split with the Cowboys. I don't jacked up to being probably a perhaps sweep of the Cowboys because they've got life going on there. You know, you got the young quarterback. He's a cool cat too. I like his.
He is.
I like his swag. He's not a show off. He's not look at me. He's just a cool guy, and the way he holds himself, he's a real pro. And to be so young, and I mean, even when I saw the post-game press conference after that Hail Mary, as they're calling it, Hail Mary Land, this is his whole response to it. You know, like he's done it before, but he even said, that was a lot of fun. I mean, he wasn't like me. And so I just think Washington, and they got the new set of owners, if you got Magic Johnson on your side, you can do a lot of good things because he's so infectious. And I don't know what kind of role he has, but I guarantee you when it comes to talking to the team and getting them pumped up, you call on Magic to come in and talk in the locker room. Right. Don't care they didn't play football. They know he's a winner. And I think that transcends what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm smiling at TikTok, Mike. I'm live. We got Johnny Parlay all day. He said the Lions are going to feast on some Packers today. I'm laughing because he's a Lion fan. So that's why I'm over here smiling. Johnny Parlay, I saw you. I see you. We're going to talk about that matchup here too in a minute. But I don't know if y'all going to feast or not, but we going to see. But yeah, I like Dan Quinn. I think he took the right job. I really do. Yeah, considering that, what was that, 2 years ago? He was in the running for quite a few openings. He pulled his name out. I think Jerry probably promised him some things, but
Denver wanted him.
Yeah. A couple of other teams wanted him too. So I think he took the right gig. And you remember Dan Quinn was successful in Atlanta. I think we forget about that.
They always beat him up about that. Was he the defensive coordinator when they lost in the Super Bowl?
No, he was the head coach.
He was the head coach. Okay.
Right.
He got him to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Say what you want. I mean, he lost a 28-point lead, but he lost 28-point lead in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's like you kind of got to balance it. Yeah, that was a bad look, but it happened in the Super Bowl. He got them there. And I think he probably had his hands tied a little bit in Dallas, through not so much through McCarthy, but through Jerry. Because Jerry, I mean, it's going to sound weird for me to say this. Jerry really ain't keen on his coaches being successful.
No, I agree with you. No, that's fact.
Yeah,
that's fact. Yeah,
he's not keen on that. And Jerry used to have a swag about him about going out and getting somebody. He don't have that competitive nature that he had 10 years ago. Even when they were losing 10 years ago, he was trying to find a way to make the team better. Right. And I just think that we don't see that from him this time. Well, the last couple of years, I mean, you're not paying your players in a timely fashion where you're not sunk. And he's brought this on himself, and he'll admit to it, but it's like, yeah, but you ain't winning no games.
Right. And so, I think the Commanders, again, at the Giants, I think that's going to be a W for them. Jaden Daniels did have a real, but week to week, but he seemed to be okay against the Bears, who, by the way, I was laughing. And I wasn't feeling sorry for them Bears because, I'm glad y'all got beat on the Hail Mary. So, yes, thank you very much, Commanders. I appreciate you, young fella. But, again, I think the Commanders, this division is them and the Eagles, the NFC East at this point. In my mind, I think, those two going to eventually win this division. And I think the Commanders has the leg up.
So. No, I agree with you. I haven't seen Philly play. I've seen their scores. I haven't seen them play. But the Commanders bring excitement to the game.
Yeah.
I like Jalen Hurts, but he's not the Jalen Hurts of 2 years ago.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but he seemed to be finding he's rounding into form, I guess, the last couple of weeks.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, he's looking a little better. Yeah, so let's Yeah, Saquon Barkley definitely helps. Let's talk about the big game, the afternoon 3:25 window. Obviously, y'all already know. You know what I'm saying? It's always a great day to be what? To be a Green Bay Packer fan. And guess what? It's going down in Lambeau. Lions, who are 6-1, and I would say this. I think the Lions are probably the best team in the league right now. My doggone Packers 6-2, and it's going down, and that's going to be a tough one, Mike. Well, where you see this going? The Lions can put up a bunch of points.
They ain't going to be tough.
What you thought of?
Tough. It ain't going to be tough, my homie. It's going to be Lions all the way. I mean, it's I remember when Dan Campbell came into the league, he's talking about biting kneecaps. People were like, oh my God. You got the last laugh, man. I like he's aggressive. Not everybody can, every coach is different. And he's a very aggressive guy. He goes for it, and if they fail, he'll go for it again later. Some coaches get away with that because you get your play. Right. And I like Aaron Glenn. Isn't it? Where's Aaron Glenn at? Where's he at? Is he?
He's in Detroit. He's still in Detroit. Yeah, he's still in Detroit.
Oh, dude, I know he wants to get a head coaching job. Maybe he doesn't, but I like his role and what he's doing there because he is putting together some defense, man. Aaron Glenn's a bad boy. So that combo of Glenn and Campbell, it's working to a T because those players believe in what's going on. Jared Goff. Golly, I mean, Jared Goff was kind of like Sam Darnold, after the Rams, it's like, why would you trade away your Super Bowl quarterback?
Right.
But whatever he had in him, he's a young guy. He's still young. It was a good move. I mean, they've made a lot of chess moves that have paid off for them.
Yeah. And Terrence Stone's back to the Cowboys. He says if Jerry Jones wants to make the Dallas Cowboys better, he needs to step away from operations. And, that all sounds like everybody say that, Terrence, but it ain't happening. Jerry ain't stepping away till it's time for him to take a dirt nap. That's
he done it a long time.
He done a long time ago. Yeah.
How many coaches get fired or leave after winning a Super Bowl? That happened on Jerry's watch. But Jimmy Johnson is his own man.
Right.
He's write my check and I'll be out of here because you haven't had a more forceful coach since. Even Bill Parcells was kind of, I'm not gonna say he was soft, but he's like, oh, I'm just here for the ride. He wasn't, because he knew he had to deal with Jerry. He was at that stage of his career, Parcells. I ain't trying to fight no owners because he wasn't like the way he was with the Giants in terms of just being the guy.
Right.
And you're gonna listen and do what I say, and your record is you are what your record says you are. He wasn't that guy in Dallas, you know. Now people talk about Belichick. Belichick ain't gonna do.
Right.
Belichick ain't gonna do nothing. The players are younger, and the coaches are getting younger. Yeah. And the only way you can win with the old school coach is if that old school coach has been winning with the same team he's been with.
Right. Yeah. So Lions Packers is going down in Lambeau. Me and Mike gonna give our picks in a segment after this. Now let's move on to NFL news and notes. We already talked about Ezekiel Elliott. Just to give you an update on Jordan Love for the Packers, he's going to go. He had a growing injury, but they say he's going to start. Him and Josh Jacobs, he had an ankle injury. Both of them are going to start versus the Lions on today. Let's talk about another situation, Mike, that happened this week with a young quarterback by the name of Anthony Richardson. He goes into his post-game press and says he was tired, so he checked himself out. Well, now the news is a couple of days after that, head coach Shane Steichen, I believe is his name, they have moved on. They are making Joe Flacco the starting quarterback, and I was reading this morning that was supported by a majority of the Colts players. Wow. Mike, where does this young fella go from here, man?
Well, here's where, okay, I understand honesty is the best policy, but there is an exception. When you say, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was tired. That ain't the time you want to use that honesty policy.
I know, right, right.
You don't want to use it at that time. You want to keep that to yourself.
Right.
You can say, oh, I got a cramp in my leg or something.
Right.
You can't even say you tired after running gassers for your coach. You know,
right.
When you up it over the coach, said, well, I'm tired. No, you just ran 25 gassers. You're about to run 25 more. So he gets, right. Like I said, so he gets to get all the rest he needs this week. You know,
right. So yeah, man. That when I heard that, I was like, young fella, that wasn't the time nor the place to say that, even if that is the case, because you're not the only one out there running around, young fella. Right. What about them big guys in front of you trying to protect you? They don't get to tap out. They don't tap out. What's up?
What about the defenders who were chasing you?
Right.
So no, that was just and I know he's young and all that, but I don't give him a pass because he's young, because there's nowhere in the world, whether it be the high school level or the college level, or definitely in the pros, do you say I took myself out because I got tired? That ain't what that privilege is about. You can't do that, because that's gonna stick with you until you do something to overcompensate for it. That's gonna stick with you.
Yeah. Yep. So that's the change in Indianapolis, man. They're going with Flacco until further notice. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, Mike, let's get down to our NFL Week 9 picks. Let's go ahead and make this happen. Last week, I know we didn't have you on, Mike. That was my fault. I don't know why I did not see you, but last week I was actually 2-4 last week, Mike. Yeah, I was 2-4, but my record is 26-22, so I'm getting a little better.
All right.
You got
a better record than the Cowboys.
Damn, that's a dig, but that's the truth. But all right, so here are Kendrick's pick 6 games for Week 9, and man, this season is moving along. Okay, we go with the 3-4 Cowboys at the 5-3 Falcons. We got the 2-5 Dolphins at the 6-2 Bills. We got the 6-2 Commanders at the 2-6 Giants. We got the 5-3 Broncos at the 5-3 Ravens. We got the 6-1 Lions at my Packers, who are 6-2, and we got the 3-4 Rams at the 4-4 Seahawks. All right, Mike, let's start with the Cowboys at the Falcons. Who you got?
I'm going with the Cowboys. I talk too much. I talk too bad about them to pick them. So Cowboys to lose. I'm going to go Cowboys to lose.
What score you got, Mike?
It could be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 35-23 Falcons.
Oh, so you going Falcons. Okay.
You said you... although I talked all that noise about them, I misspoke. I'm going Falcons, man.
You're going Falcons. Okay. Mike, I'm riding shotgun with you. I'm going with the Falcons as well, but I'm going 24-20. All right, Dolphins 2-5 at the 6-2 Bills. Mike, who you got?
I know Tua is back, right?
Yeah, he's back. This is second game back.
Okay. The Bills been on the roll. I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna go 24-17.
Mike taking the Bills 24-17. I am taking the Bills as well, 23-10. Commanders 6-2 at the Giants 2-6. I pretty much probably know who you going with, Mike.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with them. Who know I'm not going to go with the Commanders. I think they're still high from the Bears game. There's gonna be some mistakes, just a little bit of a hangover, but I think they're talented enough and they got the kind of coach they can get themselves settled down. So I'm gonna go Commanders 23, Giants 23-6.
23-6. All right. And I am going with the Commanders as well, 31-16. We got the 5-3 Broncos at the 5-3 Ravens. Mike, the Broncos has been playing they've been kind of playing some good football in the last couple of games.
They really have. And, that's why I think I don't know how the Ravens lost last week to Cleveland.
I don't either.
I don't get that.
I don't know either.
So they're saying the same thing. So they're going to make up for it today. So for a big game, isn't there something ailing
Lamar Jackson? Yeah, he has a back and knee, but he's playing. Yeah, he missed a couple of practice, but he's going to play. He's going to. Yeah.
When superstars have an ailing situation, they really go off. So
right.
So I'm going with the Ravens 31. I like Bo Nix though, and so 24.
31-24. You got a close one. I see that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going with the Ravens as well, 27-17. All right. Here's the game of the day. The 6-1 Lions at the 6-2 Packers. Mike, who you got?
All right. Let's see. The Lions, I don't think they've emptied out all their bullets.
Okay.
All right. Hit a few for the Packers. I'm going to go 30. I'm going to go 30, 30-20. 30-20 line.
30-20. Okay. And that's where me and Mike don't see eye to eye. I'm going with the Lambeau Field advantage, even though, believe it or not, the Lions have beaten the Packers at Lambeau Field the last 2 times. So that mystique is kind of over. But I think my Packers going to defensively shut this offense down just a little bit. I'm going with the Packers 24-21. All right, our last pick 6 game, the Rams 3-4 at the Seahawks 4-4. By the way, the Seahawks will not have wide receiver DK Metcalf. He is out. So, Mike, who you got? Rams 3-4 at the Seahawks 4-4.
You know what? Against my better judgment, I'm going with Seattle to beat the Rams. And I'm going to go 23-13.
23-13 Hawks. All right. Maybe we'll get to see our hometown guy, Tyus Bowser. If you don't know, he's with the Seahawks, by the way. So maybe we'll get to see him. I'm going with the Rams. I think they found their groove offensively. I think they in that zone. I'm going with the Rams 32-23. So those are our pick 6 for week 9 for this week. All right, Mike, let's get that. Where we go? Oh, we got to talk about this before we get to our freestyle moment. We got to talk about Garrett Wilson and OBJ 2.0. We got to talk about the catch 2.0.
Yeah.
Mike, who's okay? Who did it better? Which New York wide receiver did it better?
Well, I'm gonna go
OBJ or Garrett Wilson?
Because he did it first in terms of notoriety. The original. You can't beat the original. I mean, look, they tried it with Coke. It didn't work. The Kentucky Fried Chicken. They got extra crispy. Nah, you got to go with the original. So we're going with the original. But I tell you what, that was a heck of a catch. It had that Michael Jordan logo look to it.
Right.
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of. So Garrett Wilson was a bad boy. This is a new era, new generation. I think Odell had it, but I think Garrett Wilson. Look at that! Look at that! You know what? Okay, who threw the ball to Odell? Was it Manning?
It had to be Manning. Yeah, it was Eli.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Eli at that time. That was 2000. That was 2014. That catch was November 23rd,
He got
2014.
a name like Aaron Rodgers, although he ain't been Aaron Rodgers of late. But that's a that's a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch. I decided to throw it out there and see. That's him trusting. That's him trusting the youngster.
Right.
So I love Garrett, but the original is the one.
You know what, Mike? I guess you and I was on the same page because when I did the segment on it, I was torn. I was like, it's kind of like trying to choose between a Bentley and a Rolls Royce. They both luxurious. They both look good. That's kind of how I look at this. I was like, but I guess you got to go. I gave the slight edge to OBJ, just slightly.
Like the analogy you use, both cars got style,
right?
Okay?
Right.
And these two catches had style,
right? And the degree of difficulty was pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. Yeah, I think it might have been a little bit tougher for Garrett because he was at the edge of the back of that end zone.
Right.
And had that. And see, receivers today, they have that presence of mind. You got to know everything about that particular play, where your feet is, where your body is, and all of that. It's tough playing wide receiver today because of those other things you got to think about. The old school receivers had to worry about getting hit. Today's receivers, they don't go across the middle like they used to.
No.
They got to dance. It's like I didn't see it. Pickens last week, the Pittsburgh game. I heard that was up. I heard that was up for debate. I never did see, but like Dan Patrick said. I guess as he put it, the rule is 2 feet in. His point was, 1 foot did it twice.
That was the debate, and you know what? I hadn't thought about that.
Right.
You know what? So they need the NFL needs to fix that. I mean, because
that was tougher.
You get 2. Right. Yeah. Right.
Tougher.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, let him have that. We can't, But that's the way it is. But no. So yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, so Mike, it's the consensus. We give. I call OBJ's 1A, and I'm calling Garrett Wilson 1B. And by the way, there was another one-handed catch in the college level. If you were watching the Miami Duke game yesterday, which I did, the young fella for the Duke receiver, he caught one-handed, Mike. That was just as probably it ain't this level, but it was top level. I'm sure you can find it if you Google it. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it because I was watching the game live.
I will look it up. And the thing is, that's all about instinct. That's instinct. What what does your mind tell your body to do, and you're reacting because you can't teach that, you can't coach that. That's a twitch thing, and I'm definitely gonna look that up.
Yes. So there you go. We down to our last segment. We want to thank everybody that's watching. Terrence, I want to thank you for popping in and commenting. We down to our freestyle moment where we kind of just talk about whatever we want off the top of our head. Mike, what's your freestyle moment for today?
I got 2 things.
Go ahead.
NFL. They should put together an all knucklehead team, right? Now already I got Richardson. I got the Chicago Bears cornerback who was taunting the crowd just before the hell.
Yeah.
And I got Antonio Brown. That's they make up part of what could be a glorious all knucklehead team from the NFL.
Right.
Another tip is college ball. Lenora Sellers, South Carolina. Man, that dude, he was righteous last night.
You called that game too, Mike. You said that you felt that was a trap game for A&M. You called it.
Yeah, you called it. They're up 14-0, and they creep back in A&M. I'm like, well, all that firepower I know is not going to go to waste, and it didn't. They just, 20-20 at the half, and then they just pulled away. The running back Raheem Sanders, I believe is his name.
Right.
He was
that's it.
Loose for that 52-yard touchdown run. And how about the pick at the end? Oh, he didn't get to the end zone, but they eventually got there behind Sanders with that pick. South Carolina, they've had 2 close calls with the likes of LSU and Alabama.
Right.
And now, what I don't want to happen, and I don't think it will because they're in the SEC, I don't want some team snooping around and trying to hire the head coach from South Carolina, because I think he got something.
Well, you know they are.
I know, man. I know. You know, he got something special going on there, and didn't realize who his father was. I mean, knew about his father, and I knew about him, but I was like, oh, Bieber, is that his name? Because he wasn't he Michael Vick's coach, I think, at Valtech.
Yeah, Frank Beamer. That was Vick's coach. Frank Beamer. Yeah,
was here business with South Carolina. So now I want to see how they handle prosperity moving out. Because that was in my headline last night. I brought the fact that A&M ranked 10th for the first time in quite a while. Could they handle prosperity after winning last week and getting to where they are? They couldn't. You got when you're going to enemy territory with the kind of credentials you got and the way South Carolina played at least two of those teams in the SEC, you can't fall asleep. And so, and Marcel Reed, he'll come along. But last night it was the Sellers show, man, big time. They couldn't bring that guy down.
No, you're right. Yeah, it was a Sellers show, man. And Marcel Reed, again, the young fella for A&M. I thought he would run into a couple of speed bumps, and I thought he would get over it. Obviously, they were 2020. It was tied up at halftime. That's okay. A&M sitting in a real good spot. But that second half, man, South Carolina just sold their moxie and they got it done. Terrence Stone once he responded, Mike. He said the all knucklehead team is hilarious. So Terrence, like your all head. Hey, Terrence, you got somebody that need to be added to that list? Because I'm sure it's going to be some athletes that's going to be added to that list. Believe me. Yeah, you have some other ones. They always going to be all knuckleheads. My freestyle moment is the parity in the NFL, man. Just looking. Even though the Chiefs are 7-0, they don't feel like a team that's 7-0. I don't know why. It's just something about it. But you feel me? I don't know why I feel that way.
I'm with you because they haven't dominated.
Yeah.
See, the clock ended just as right. I mean, I'm scared about Baltimore. And tomorrow could be a shoot. Baker Mayfield and Mahomes get to reignite that shootout thing with those two. Tomorrow night. But what I like about the Chiefs, they're not sitting pat. They're trying to get better.
They make moves. That's right. You're right. They make moves.
Yeah, Brett Veach is finding pieces. They got the linebacker from the Patriots that they brought on board, and of course D-Hop. And so they're making moves. Is what they're doing. Yeah. And because you can't sit pat. You cannot sit pat. They're doing the opposite of what Jerry Jones is doing.
Doing the opposite.
Complete opposite.
Yeah, complete opposite. So that's my thing. NFL is riding high on their popularity. But Major League Baseball had a little bit popularity too. The World Series with these Yankees Dodgers, they pulled some great numbers for the World Series, which baseball hasn't.
It makes sense because to me, baseball, it's such a New York East Coast sport.
Yeah.
And Dodgers are such an institution. You couldn't ask for if you're a network executive, you don't want Cleveland and Kansas City. I'm just going to say that, you don't.
No, you don't.
Or by the National League, Cleveland and somebody in the National League. Oh, shoot, I'm drawing a blank. But you want a big market team in baseball.
Right.
That's what you can do that. You don't really need a big market team in basketball because there's only a handful of the teams that go are big markets, for the most. You want a Boston, LA in anything,
right.
You want a Boston, LA in anything. But the highlight for the Yankees were the cousins of Beavis and Butthead trying to get that ball out of the.
I know. Yeah, the knuckleheads shouldn't be allowed to ever attend a game again. I mean, I know they suspend. Yeah, don't allow them cats in the stadium no more. That was just fans just doesn't get out of hand. I know. They New Yorkers. I know.
They probably ain't got to buy a drink for the next 6 months. They go to a bar. Oh, you're the guy. Come on, and buy a meal. They trust me. They getting the red carpet treatment in New York, and
they shouldn't. But that's New Yorkers. I get it. You're right.
All right, my man. Well, hey, listen. This is the last weekend before Dark Tuesday or Bright Tuesday. So hopefully
I won't go mention that, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Speaking of, I'm not gonna mention him either. I was gonna mention that 49er, Nick Bosa, but we're gonna talk about that tomorrow night. But
on the list.
TFG tonight.
He gonna be on the
put him. Nick Bosa is on the list now, huh, Mike? Yeah. Terrence, Nick Bosa's on the list. Speaking of which, Terrence said he agrees with you on the Chiefs. He said they don't feel like a 7-0 dominant team, and I think we all in agreement on that. Okay, Mike. Before we get out of here, high school football is it's winding down. It's about to be playoffs.
Yeah,
district championships. Yeah, have we got some district champs already in the mix, or what's happening? What's the latest?
Carthage is always there, but the 7-4A, the Pine Trees, the Chapel Hills, the Lindales, those cats. I mean, they're playing some. Henderson got blown out by Chapel Hill last week. When Henderson, they're new to the district, but they've been playing pretty well. I think we'll probably, and Malakoff ain't lost a game. They stayed number 2 from back in August in our top 10 poll. And so I just think, just like last year, we're gonna have a handful of teams go and play for the championship. I think at least 4 are going to go. I wish our bigger schools could be in that mix, but that's another show. That's another show.
That's another show. Well, this is my good brother Michael Coleman. He is the sports director at KLTV, the ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas. Make sure you go kltv.com. You can check him out. Download the app, the Red Zone. It's all about high school football. It's college, and they update on the local kids that's at the college level, that's at the pro level.
That's a really good, like that.
Yeah. So y'all make sure y'all download that app. Go to your app store. KLTV, KTRE Red Zone app. Check it out. All right, Mike, I'm gonna let you get to some NFL football, and we'll catch you. We'll catch you later. All right, brother. All right, peace. Again, that was my good brother Michael Coleman, KLTV Sports Director at the ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas. I want to thank you, Terrence, for popping in. Always a loyal viewer. Appreciate that. Again, you guys, make sure if you watch this later, make sure you let me know who's your pick 6 picks today in NFL games, week 9. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, as you can see there in the ticker. So again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy. Good Sunday to you. Enjoy the rest of it. Enjoy some football. We will see you on the other side and on the next report. And as I always say, it's always a great day to be what? To be a Green Bay Packer fan. I'm out. Deuces.